the Power Trip Zach Halverson on Tuesday, December 10th at Carmine's in Woodbury for a Wild watch party. Get there at 8:30 p.m. to watch your Wild in action and to sign up for your chance to qualify for first-round playoff tickets next year. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Hey, speaking of tickets and such, before the show is over, we're going to give away a pair of tickets to the Vikings-Falcons game. Matt, would you say Falcons or Falcons?
I'll start saying Falcons from now on.
Amy, are you a Falcons or
Minnesota? Hang on. I'm from Minnesota, so I say Falcons.
And Sauce, what do you say?
Falcons?
Yeah, I say Falcons or Dirty Birds.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So there you go.
What time will that be?
The game is at noon. Be here for the kaboom at noon, the pregame at 10. But we're going to give away a pair of tickets to the game so somebody can be there. We'll do that later. Right now, it's program password. Where are we, Tenneby? I think Sauce and I are in a bit of a hole here.
Not too big of a hole, though.
Okay.
You're only down 9 points. Max and Amy have 45. You and Meat Sauce have 36. We played at 80. As always, you can watch the second half of program password at KFAN.com/watch. Are we ready?
I think we're ready to go. Yep.
Meat Sauce and Max, you two take a look at the iPad, please.
Okay.
The password is Jewel. Meat Sauce, 9-point deficit. The option is on you. What would you like to do here?
We'll go second.
All right, Max and Amy for 10.
Crown.
Jewel.
Wow.
That was good. Yeah.
We can't this game.
You guys got the chemistry.
What's going on?
You don't got to be Bill Nye to see that we got chemistry, baby. Let's
It was
go.
a car ride over here.
Right.
I mean, we just
bonded, right?
Yes.
We're on the same wavelength.
That T-Swift did it, huh?
We're just thrilled for the both of you.
55 to
That's my
36.
fault. We should've
Max
gone
and
with that
Amy have the lead. Common and Amy, take a look at the iPad. The password is machine. All right, Common, you're down 19 points. Kind of need this one here. You've got the option. What do you want to do, first or second? 5 seconds.
We'll go first.
All right, Common and Meat Sauce for 10.
Automated.
Transmission.
Amy and Max for 9. Five
Shop.
seconds. Say it again. I talked over
shop. It's not even worth saying. It's so bad.
Bot.
you. Common and Meat Sauce for 8.
Washing.
Oh.
Amy and Max for 7. 5 seconds.
Anything.
Tractor.
Machine.
There you go.
I'm like, oh my God, please just say something because I got it.
Technically, he could just say it without a clue.
Could he?
can't
No, I think the clue has to be given.
Okay, good. I know when you were like nodding your head at me like it's okay, just say anything. Don't let this buzz.
Right. Supercalifragilistic.
That's my fault.
The next one I was going to say is rage.
I know. I was going to
that would've
say,
worked.
yeah.
But I think rage, the first clue just said machine.
No.
You think, I don't think another
Well,
clue.
you could have gone rage, and I could have said against.
Yeah.
And then,
All right, we're in trouble.
I think we're in trouble.
Biggest lead of the game, 62 to 36 for Max and Amy. They're 18 points away from winning. Meat Sauce and Max, take a look at the iPad, please. The password is stage. Can you fold your papers away from the microphone, please?
Doing origami?
Meat Sauce, you're down 26 points. You have the option here. You want to go first or second?
We'll go second.
All right, Max and Amy, stay hot. This one for 10.
Blocking.
Sorry. Yeah.
Meat Sauce and Common for 9.
Platform?
Sled. Why did I say sled?
No
Off
idea.
of blocking, yeah. Max and Amy for 8.
Theater.
Amy has yet to answer. Meat sauce in common for 7.
Concert.
Stage.
I was gonna say.
You should have just guessed. It's okay. We're still on the same
I was
page.
like blocking.
I was trying to do something like, block. It's like when you move stuff around the stage.
Yeah,
I was trying to do something that wouldn't give it
I'm not a
away.
theater
Right,
kid.
right, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had no idea where you were
Yeah. Otherwise, I should have just said stage instead of.
I was going to say
Dang.
fright, but then I thought maybe.
That's why I went second, because I thought you'd like say concert, and then I would have just said
fright.
Yeah.
platform.
Right, yeah.
Right.
All right, Common and Sauce, you stop the bleeding at 62 to 43. Common and Amy, take a look at the iPad. The password is glide. All right, Common, you're down 19. You can make this a one-possession game here. The option is yours. You want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
All right, Common and Meat Sauce for 10.
Soar.
Fly.
Amy and Max for 9.
Okay. Astro.
Oh my gosh.
Common and Meat Sauce for 8.
Oh my gosh. Astro.
Electric.
Slide.
Amy and Max for 7.
Smooth.
Glide.
Nice.
I know it's electric slide, but I thought it was soar.
It was from the Astro. Oh, you were just ahead of your time.
See what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah.
What is Astro Glide?
Astro glide. It's like hair stuff, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Sure it is.
Yeah. Oh.
I wouldn't know.
I used the Afro Sheen,
That's my fault.
but the Astro didn't get me there.
All right, Max and Amy, you're at Zach Halverson's favorite number. You're at 69.
Shout out, Zacko.
We work better together, Sauce and I, on stage when we're doing comedy.
What time will that be?
Well, there's going to be a couple of shows coming up after you your wife gives birth.
Oh, is that?
Yes. Yeah. That's why when you said it, I laughed. I didn't think that's what you meant.
Okay, it is not hair gel. The fan has learned.
Oh.
It is gel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
well.
All right.
Okay.
Yep. That's why I went.
Moving on.
That's funny.
Okay.
The listeners are not surprised I got it off of that.
Wait, isn't it our turn?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Meat Sauce and Max. 69-43. Max and Amy have the lead. Sauce and Fuller. Take a look at the iPad. The password is book. Or block. Sauce, you're down 26. You got the option here. You want to go first or second?
We'll go first.
All right. Sauce and Common for 10.
Square.
Circle.
Oh, now I thought of what I should have said.
Max and Amy for 9.
Lego.
Block.
Yeah, I should have said building block.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my fault.
I almost went back to the theater thing
Yeah.
since we were just
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
it. Yeah.
right.
Woo-wee.
Here's where we're
Why do you
at.
guys just keep explaining all your brilliance?
It's the Maxining
What
cast
paperwork
instead
are
of the
you doing
Manning
over there,
cast.
by the way?
Taxes?
What is it
Tax
you're
season
doing?
early?
Taxes?
I'm looking for a Dark Star memorial that I can't find that I promised to read this week, and I'm now annoyed by it because
over.
I know I printed it. So
This is how into it he is right now.
All right, Max and Amy, here's the story. You've got 78, so any correct answer, you are
Let's
victorious.
go.
Common and Meat Sauce have 43.
It ain't over.
Common and Amy, take a look at the iPad, please. The password is cave. There we go. All right, Common, you're down 35. You're going to have the option the rest of the way. You want to go first or second here?
go first.
All right, Common and Sauce for 10.
Grotto.
cave.
Wow.
Man cave. He calls it his grotto.
That's why.
Yep.
It's not over.
It ain't over.
Good clue.
It ain't over.
Really good clue.
Great.
78-53. Max and Amy with the lead. Meat Sauce and Max. Take a look at the iPad. The password is net. All right, Sauce, you can get one here. You can make it interesting. It's 78-53. You're down 25. You got the option. You want to go first or second?
We will go first.
All right, Meat Sauce and Common for 10.
Swish.
Basket.
Max and Amy for 9 in the win.
Brooklyn.
Nets.
They win.
Yeah, good one. Yeah. Yes! I didn't know. I couldn't pass it.
Be in the
winner's circle.
I have never won anything here in my whole life.
Hey.
Ever.
Hey.
Ever.
You're on the board. Your first win.
Let's go. Because your boy's hot right now.
Red hot. Smoking hot.
The fastest rising young program password player in the country.
Do this. This is what I like to do. This is how hot you are. When you spin on your fingers.
Oh, let me do it for the camera.
Amy, always delight to have
Thanks
you
for
here.
having
Thank
me,
you
guys.
very much. Yes, you can catch Amy on Fox 9. You can catch Max pretty much anywhere.
Yes, sir.
He's either on the air, he's clubbing, he's doing something.
I'm everywhere, baby.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere.
And then Sauce, pretty much you'll just find him washing dishes and baby clothes pretty
Yes,
soon.
you are correct.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Program Password. We'll take a break, come back with more after this here on The Fan. Incredible. A couple of Dark Star memorials for you today. First one says, "Hello, me boy. This past Thanksgiving was the first since Dad passed away. Dad was a Vietnam veteran who later in life developed health problems from the effects of Agent Orange. He never complained to anyone when he was in pain, went to the doctor when he had to, and kept us kids informed of his health status. Last January 5th, Dad went to bed the next morning and never opened his eyes again. Early that morning, he took his last breath. I like to think that he not only joined Mom, but also found Dark. Dad was a lifelong Minnesota sports fan. He was at the Miracle at the Met game, took 12-year-old me to the Metrodome to watch the 87 World Series game, Game 3 on the big screen. As I grew older, it became tradition to watch every Vikings game with Dad. The last year of his life, something always came up that I couldn't make it to his house. I found it very hard to get into sports last year. In my mind, I knew Dad was fading away. This year, before kickoff of every game, I talked to Dad just to let him know it's kickoff time. When the game is over, we have a quick chat again. I know that during the game, Dad is watching and having a cocktail with Dark. Thanks for taking the time to honor all of our lost loved ones, signed Ryan." And then there's this one that says, "Hey, Dan, please send best wishes to our 11-year-old cat, Luther, who passed away from cancer this week. He was a black cat, impossible to photograph, but impossible to miss. Snuggled like he was always freezing, despite always having a warm home. He loved like he was lonely, despite always having a loving home. He was the best cat, despite being named after a supervillain. Even if Dark doesn't like cats, Luther will find him and will turn him. His love is infectious. We will miss him always." Signed, 320 guy. And those are your Dark Star memorials for the day. Tenneby, before we get to the Viking injury report, this is a correction. If you're going to use, speaking of password, Tenneby, I'm going to give you a password, and then I'm going to give you a clue, and I want you to give me a password. Program.
Password?
No, accuracy.
Accuracy.
That's exactly right, because that's
right.
If we're about anything, we're about accuracy. And I'm going to throw somebody else under the bus. I know, now sometimes I shouldn't admit that a lot of times I just skim stories, sports stories, when you're working at the All Sports station. I'd said earlier that Jared Goff is the first quarterback in NFL history to throw complete 6 passes to 5 different receivers, or maybe it was 5 passes to 6 different receivers. That is incorrect. Goff just became the third quarterback. This is an updated story. Third quarterback in NFL history to complete 5 passes to at least 6 different receivers in a regular season game. Who do you think the other 2 were? You'll never guess. Never. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks to guess, but I mean, it's 2 guys that never were like great. It's not like,
yeah,
it's not like
I would have guessed like a Drew Brees, like he distributed the ball around.
It's not a Hall of Fame.
It's got to be a team that has running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield, I think.
They neither quarterback is a Hall of Famer. Not even close. I'll give you a clue for the
Brad
first.
Johnson.
No, I'll give you the clue for the first one. We want the ball and we're going to score.
Hasselbeck?
Yes, Matt Hasselbeck. He did it
With
once.
Seattle? Who's he with?
Hasselbeck's performance actually came against the Lions, but it doesn't say who he was with. I'm assuming it was Green Bay, right? Because he played for Green Bay, right? Didn't he play for Green Bay too, or did he just play for it must have been Seattle?
Might have been a backup for Green Bay.
It was against Detroit. The other one was a Browns quarterback. Highly regarded when he was drafted.
Bernie Kosar?
No, highly regarded more
Tim
recent.
Couch?
No. Faded.
Well, there's somebody, Baker Mayfield?
No. He's a horse is a horse, of course.
A horse is a horse, of course.
Horse.
Oh, Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy. So,
Yeah, you could have given me about 500 guesses, and I don't know if I would have come up with either of those 2.
Exactly. That's why I said it would be difficult to do. But I just wanted to make sure, because we're all about accuracy on the Grum. We rarely give bad information. When we do and we get it corrected, that's what we do.
Who were the 6 that got it for Detroit? Because I feel like Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't catch a lot last night. It would have been the 2 running backs.
2 running backs.
Laporta, Jamison Williams. Did Tim Patrick? Did he get on there?
I think he had 6 last night. I think he had 6.
And did Amon get to that amount?
Maybe he did.
I felt like he had 2 late, but I felt like he didn't do much most of the game.
5 passes to at least 6 different receivers. That's spreading the ball around. While
Yeah, Amon did have 5.
okay.
Yeah, so Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Montgomery all had 5, and then Jahmyr Gibbs and Tim Patrick each had 6.
Someone on the on our Bradshaw. Hello, please let me get it. Bradshaw Brian text line says it was Seattle against the Packers in the playoffs. So that's when Hasselbeck did it. So it must have been the same game.
The game
when
you
he
referenced,
said,
yes.
When he said, isn't that how he said it? That he said, we want the ball, we're going to score?
I believe so.
Yeah. And then did he throw a pick like on his first play or something
Was
like
it
that?
a pick 6?
I think it was a pick 6. You have that Vikings injury report there, Tennessee?
Yes. We have one
This
player.
could be important.
One player listed as out. I don't think it's a surprise. That would be cornerback Stephon Gilmore. Of course, he has the hamstring strain. Questionable. Andrew DePaula, who's back. He's the long snapper.
Right.
I'm assuming he's playing because I think they let go of the other long snapper.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and assume
Andy's
he's playing.
We'll go with Andy's playing.
Will Reichard.
Ooh.
Dalton Reisner, his back came up on him this week. Andrew Van Ginkel, Harrison Phillips, Pat Jones. According to a Ben Gessling tweet, Kevin O'Connell said the Vikings will make a decision on Reichard today. He seemed optimistic about most of the questionable players being able to go.
Well, let me ask you a question. That would mean John Parker Romo's career would be done with the Vikings, right?
Yes.
At least for now, unless another injury. I wonder, Romo was really good, right?
Yeah.
Did he only miss 1 kick?
He did well enough to get another look.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible he could get a
He'll
look.
play somewhere else.
Speaking of kickers, what's happened to Justin Tucker? Have you been following this guy?
Yeah, hasn't he missed like 8 or 9 this year?
He was arguably the greatest place kicker of all time.
Yes.
Right? His field goal percentage is like 98. I know I'm exaggerating, but I mean, it's like he rarely would miss. He has the longest field goal in the history of the National Football League. And Tennessee, what team was that against?
The Detroit Lions.
You are correct. But he's been missing field goals at an alarming rate. And I think it's cost the team at least a game, maybe 2. I was talking to Deuce about it or somebody, but you don't give up on him, right? You don't just say,
Because they've talked about What you should write, if any other kicker was missing that amount of kicks, they'd be cut, and you would find a new kicker like a John Parker Romo. He's built up a lot of equity over the years. I'd like to give him a shot to try to bust out of it, but who knows if he will bust out of it because he's never been in a position to have to be in a slump.
Right. Who was the Packer kicker that was really good for a while and then missed like 5 or 6? Who was Crosby?
Mason Crosby?
Yeah.
PA called him Missin' Crosby.
Is that what he called him? And didn't the same thing there? They kept giving him a chance because I think there was a time where this is again, I'm all about accuracy, so I'm going to say something very inaccurate. I think he was inaccurate, like 5, 6, 8 kicks in a row or something. I mean, he couldn't make anything, and people were, in Green Bay, and I don't blame them. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought they were demanding he be released, and I think they stuck with him, and he came back and he kicked pretty well for the club eventually. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we call it the victory formation segment. We've had another winning week. We'll do a kneel down. We'll talk a little bit of Vikings versus Atlanta Falcons and a couple of other odds and ends I've stumbled across right here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Tune in to Wild Wednesday each week for your chance to win tickets to see your Minnesota Wild in an upcoming game. Wild Wednesdays are presented by Jim Beam, a crowd pleaser since 1795.
You still have Vikings tickets to give away, Tana. You might have wanted to remind me. You just did. Hey, let's give those away right now to the 11th caller at 1-800-320-5326. 1-800-320-5326. If you are indeed the 11th caller, you're going to win yourself a pair of tickets to see the Minnesota Vikings take on the Atlanta Falcons. If you don't get the tickets to the game and you'd like to listen to the hometown call, it's easy to do. FM 100.3. I think we stream too. We do all sorts. There's so many different ways to find our signal. Matter of fact, we are the number one. We're the fourth most streamed radio station in iHeart nationwide. I don't know how many stations we have, all the different platforms and such and signals and everything. It's over 1,000, I think. So we're doing pretty good. People like to listen to us. The pregame starts at 10 o'clock. The pregame starts at 10. Be here for the kaboom at noon when the voice of the Vikings, the national treasure, Paul Allen, will be joined by our guest yesterday. We had Pete Bursich on for the first time in quite some time. I think we are going to maybe start mixing and matching some guests like we've done the last couple of weeks when, Rosie takes so much vacation time now. He's only doing 3 days a week. It's kind of fun to get some other voices in here. I know people are fascinated with me. And they hang on my every word. I get all that. But it is so nice. We had Chip Scoggins in on Wednesday. Yesterday, we had Pete Bursich. We're going to probably try to get Lieber to come on again sometime soon and make some of the athletic guys in. Some of the Fish Wrap Factory West Side guys, too. It's always fun to have them and get their opinions, too. So we might start doing that a little bit more often. As Tennessee fields a couple of phone calls. I want to go back to the Ohio State University, not so much the flag planting silliness and all that. It's more just do they take which fan base takes sports more seriously? I guess that's I don't know if you'd call it a loaded question. I guess it's probably a question you can't answer because you can have a decent portion of the fan base to be just absolutely nuts and crazy and unreasonable about things. But it does seem like the Ohio State University fans, and maybe it's like that elsewhere, especially when it comes to the rivalry games. But now, we know what happened. The Ohio State University was ranked number 2 going into the game last week at Big House. Home game, 23.5-point favorites against the school up north, right? School up north 6-5 going into the game. 23.5-point favorites. I told my wife, my wife's, she follows both Nebraska and the Ohio State because our boys go there. I said, well, I would expect Ohio State to run them out of the stadium. They're probably bitter about last year. A lot of the same guys are coming back. They didn't like what happened last year. Michigan's not as good. They should win. I said, however, because it's kids and it's the rivalry, who knows? Anything can happen, and the anything could happen. Did happen. And now Ryan Day is 1-4. Head coach of the Buckeyes is 1-4. I don't know what that number again. I'm going to throw out another inaccurate number. By the way, someone said when I said about accuracy and information, he says it would just make more sense if you let us know when you're providing quality information, and I probably should. When I say that's so rare, it's almost like you're kind of dozing, and anytime something important, hey, want to wake up here? Got something important? Maybe I should do that. Maybe we should have some kind of an alert of some sort, like we do with the breaking news sounder, that Common's actually going to provide quality information. It won't get used often, but we'd certainly like to let you know. But what I'm trying to get to is Day's 1-4, I think, against Michigan, 1-3 or 1-4. He's like 71-4 in all of his other games. Now those numbers aren't but it's something astronomical. I mean, his winning percentage is probably over 900. Yet the headline, Urban Meyer has no interest in return to Ohio State, expresses full confidence in Ryan Day amid fan unrest. It does go to show you how important that game is to people. I guess it's sort of similar with Green Bay, Minnesota, because we talked about it yesterday when we did the poll. Remember, we did the poll? We said, hey, would you rather see Detroit win and beat hated Green Bay? Green Bay wins. That gives the Lions 2 losses, same as the Vikings. And now Vikings have a much less difficult route, just mathematically by wins and losses, to get to win the NFC North. If the Lions didn't win, right?
I was listening to the Friday Football Feast, and PA basically threw out to the crowd who was happy to see, the Lions beat the Packers last night, and the majority of the crowd was happy the Lions won. And then Charge and Greenway started basically admonishing the crowd, like, no, that's not what we wanted. We wanted the Lions to lose. We have a better chance. And the fans don't care.
Yeah.
They have hatred. They don't have hatred for Detroit.
No.
They have hatred for Green Bay.
You certainly don't. Your 3 favorite teams in football are Minnesota, Minnesota, Kansas City, and Detroit. And your teams are combined
4 losses.
Yeah, and how many wins? 33 or 34?
Can't even keep track
I think it's
anymore.
like 33 or 30. It's 12, 11, and 10. So that's 33. Your teams are 31-4. But you're not a front runner. You just don't pick the teams that are winning all the time. That's not you. But that they're actually having the conversation that Jason, he's the golfer, that Ryan Day's got to go. That Urban Meyer, obviously, people are so upset, and Urban Meyer's name has probably been coming up, that he was getting inundated with media questions like, hey, would you consider going back? Would you consider going back? So that he finally had to come out and say and release a statement. I did not have sexual relate. No, that was Clinton. I will not accept the nomination. No, that was Lyndon Baines Johnson, I think. Anyway, here's what Meyer said. It's come to my attention that there are reports speculating my return to the sidelines. It's come to his attention, Tennessee. How could it not? It's like on the crawl on every television news or television sports channel. It's everywhere you look. Urban Meyer, Ohio State, Ryan Day has got to go. But he says, it has come to my attention that there are reports speculating my return to the sidelines in Columbus. While I thoroughly enjoyed my 7 seasons as head of and he did say the Ohio State University, I have no interest in coaching again. I will always be a Buckeye and have full confidence in Ryan Day, his staff, and every player that puts on the scarlet and gray. I almost started to tear up, especially that last part when he says full confidence in Ryan Day, having every player that puts on the scarlet and gray. And I don't know if he really believes what he said, but I didn't expect him to say, I have no interest, but I'd start looking around, so and he probably does, because I do find it surprising, though I get it, Tennessee, that the rivalry does mean, and that rivalry can be a roadblock to get into where you want to be. That would be the Big Ten championship game, which is what happened this time. They're out because they couldn't get by the school up north. And then last year it prevented them. No, they didn't get an invitation, did they? Did Ohio State play in the Final Four last year? I know Michigan did. They won it. Because when Michigan beat Ohio, did that dump the Ohio State out, or did they still get an invitation anyways? Now they're going to get. I don't see any way, shape, or form in the people that I trust and the things I've been reading. Ohio State's going to get an invite to the 12-team tournament. Your only loss is, the Michigan loss is bad. When you're looking at losses, like if you're trying to rate them, losing to Oregon.
Yeah, Ohio State was not there.
Yeah, see,
it's Michigan, Alabama, Washington, and Texas.
So there you go. So that loss to Michigan, that's last year, that prevented them from getting into the 4-team tournament. Now that it's expanded to 12, I don't think there's any way they're out, right? They're going. Now, what's interesting though is so much weight is put into that Michigan game, I guess, because you lost to Oregon, right? There's no shame to that. They've not lost a game all year, and I think it was a close game. It wasn't a 1 or 2 point game. They were both ranked 2 or 3 at the time, or 1 and 3, whatever it was. But the Michigan game, I don't care if it's your arch rival and they're always close. That's a loss.
Yes.
You don't lose to a 6-5 team when you're at home and you have nothing. You're going to the big. If you win the game, you go to the Big Ten championship. You go there. You're probably beating the Ohio State University or Penn State. I think the Nittany Lions might be a bit overrated. I hope I'm not offending any Penn Staters out there.
But we saw them, and Gophers had a chance to beat them.
That's it. So I don't think they're. But still, they're ranked number 4, whatever it is, 4 or 5, whatever it is. But that's just a bad loss. You don't lose that game. So, but he had to actually come out and say, "Look, I'm humbled, but I'm not going to go." Speaking of that, Tenneby, I think somebody else is on the same page you are regarding Belichick. Jonathan Jones writes for CBS Sports. Says Bill Belichick's interest in the UNC job, a clear sign that the legendary coach is yearning to return to the sideline. But the headline that made me click says Belichick's interest in UNC is a signal to the NFL that he wants to coach again. But does he really have to? Does he really have to send a message to the NFL? Couldn't he just go? Because he's on like the McAfee show every week. Couldn't McAfee go? Would you like to coach again? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'd like to know any teams out there. I'm ready. I mean, why would you have to go? Well, I'll pretend I'm interested in UNC so people know I want to go. Can't you just open your mouth? Can't your agent call a couple of people? Would it be that simple? I don't understand why you have to do it that way. Maybe you have an explanation for it.
I don't know if maybe he's impatient and wants teams to start reaching out to him, or teams that may be firing their coaches but haven't yet. Maybe they reach out to him sooner rather than later. I mean, is it possible the North Carolina job is just going to be so much money that even though I don't envision him wanting to coach college football, he just says yes because the money, you can't turn that down? I don't know. I mean, how old is he? He's up there in age.
Well,
he's coached a long time. Do you really want to start building a college program?
Those young gals will carve years off your life.
Well, he's doing that,
isn't he? Is that true? That the gal he's with is like 23 years old or 27 or something. They talk about those May-December relationships. This is more like late March, early April.
She's 24. He's 72.
What a crazy mixed up world we live in. Anyway, I'm sure she loves him and he loves her, of course. Another coaching story. Remember we talked about the Dan Hurley character that was just going berserk? He's won back-to-back national titles at UConn, considered maybe the best college coach going right now. Absolutely can't contain himself on that. He's one of those guys I hate. I've seen it at every level of basketball. Seen it on traveling teams with baby brother Peter. I've seen it on AAU teams with baby brother Peter. I've seen it on high school teams with baby brother Peter, and you see it in the college coaching ranks, you see it in the pros. The coaches that stalk the sideline and rant and rave and roll their eyes and gesture wildly while chanting incomprehensible insults at officials. And to me, it's the decorum is just awful. Just calm down. Hurley admits, yeah, part of the problem has been me. He's finally admitting that maybe he might want to calm down a little bit. They defeated 15th ranked Baylor. They're down at number 25 now, UConn, after losing three in a row in were they in Hawaii, or what's that other tournament they do? What the hell's the name of that tournament? You know what I'm talking about, right? Where they travel. The Gophers have played in it before. It's like in Athens. No,
the gals are in Bahamas, right?
Yeah, it's one of the what's the name of that resort? Why can't I think? Atlantis. He's playing in one of those. They get beaten 3 games, and if you see the highlight package of him ranting, I mean, he's breaking every rule that they're supposed to be. He's out of the coach's box. He's running out onto the floor, screaming at officials, using 4-letter words. I mean, just. It should have been suspended as a coach, I would think, by the athletic director, but they'd never do that, right? This guy's treated different. Matter of fact, there were times during that tournament I read where he easily could have been teed up and never was. He could have been ejected, but they won't do it. The officials, they must be terrified of him. So they hadn't won in a while. They beat Baylor Wednesday. And here's what he said after the game. Yeah, I think part of the problem has been me. I've coached these guys frustrated, and I've coached them frustrated for too long. This is a team that's going to be a work in progress and a team that's going to get better and better, and we're relying on a lot of young players and a lot of new players. He admitted the program's collective ego crashed hard. The first loss in Maui to Memphis, it was Maui, the group never recovered. But on Wednesday, Hurley and his staff had his team playing more like the UConn previous 2 seasons. Hurley said, for us, I had to coach this team with more grace and more building them up and more enthusiasm and more energy. I can't coach them mad because we're not currently playing as well as the last 2 teams have played. And I think, like I said yesterday, there's been some people that have helped me kind of check whether it is my ego or just my approach to the team. So I guess I give him credit for at least addressing the immature behavioral the on-court behavior during the game as a coach. Though, he talked more about tearing down, because I think I saw a video. Did he headbutt one of his players? Did you see the picture?
No.
Well, I don't know if he headbutted him. I saw 2 still photos. He grabbed the player by the head, like a hand on your cheek, and he kind of pulled him near him. And I don't know if he smashed his head. It's so bizarre. It's basketball. You've won 2 championships. Could you calm down and act like an adult? I'm acting like Dan Hurley right now. It's not so much, I don't know how you've been treating your kids. To me, it's just your on-court, in-game decorum. None of it's that important. It's not like Green Bay versus North Korea. That's not what this is here. It's just college basketball. And of course, I get it. I had Packer fans on Twitter last night couple of emails today. Lions got all the calls.
Yep.
There were some that weren't called against the Lions. I get it. It happens every game, though. And if you want to start making a list and checking it twice of which team in the NFL has got more job by officials than any team in the history of the game, start with your Motor City Kitties.
Yeah.
You can't.
And the Packers can't complain about not getting calls.
That's exactly right. Because with Rodgers, they've been the beneficiary of a number of calls. But anyway.
By the way, college basketball.
Yeah.
Net ratings as of last night. Your Gophers are 174. University of St. Thomas, 99.
No, that's not a good sign.
That's a great sign for my Tommies.
For your Tommies.
Yeah.
Let me guess, that's another of your favorite teams. What's our record?
Yeah. Oh, they're 4-4.
Oh. Boy, that takes your favorite team record down a few notches on the win percentage. It is a different sport, but Tennessee, you might want to start being a little more choosy with your favorite teams. Kendall Blue plays on your team. He starts for the
Is he?
Yeah, baby brother Peter played with him. He's an Eastridge High product, as Paul Allen would say. He's a product.
Roll Toms.
Roll Toms.
Tennessee's number 1, by the way. They're 8-0 in the net ratings.
Yeah, okay. And I know, and people keep correcting me. And they're right. Yeah, Ohio State would have, if they got to the Big 12 championship, they would have had a rematch with Oregon. That's what I meant to say. I said Penn State, and I was wrong. I apologize. Penn State is getting that game because Ohio State lost. That's where baby brother Peter, when Ohio State lost their first game of the year, when they lost to Oregon earlier this year, he said, that's okay. We'll see him twice again. Maybe once at best. Tennessee, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit with you. Have a terrific weekend. I'm picking Vikings, Tennessee in a rout. How about you?
Good night, folks.
I like Vikings in a close one.
Okay, very good. We'll talk to you on Monday at 12 noon. Stick around. Big Ticket. Is Big Ticket in or is he out? I thought I saw
No idea.
I think it's the Big Ticket show is next. I know that.
Programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.